Okay, so very good morning and good evening to all of you guys. So let's go to the introduction mode. So for the people who doesn't know me, it's like I'm Shailaja and I'm having around 13 years of experience in this software company, and I have good amount of um, agile experience also. So I'm the certified Scrum Master and as well as the coach, uh, and this I have been doing for a couple of years. So the main intention of having this is to have a mindset change in the people so that they will become productive. They'll not be obsolete at one point of time, because if you don't cope up with the change, so ultimately at one point of time will not be able to sustain in the market. Okay, so that we don't want to happen anymore. Okay, let's see that what we have discussed in our demo. Okay, if you want to see what we have done in the demo, you can see the link here in the recap. So this is where you can find out our recording for the orientation one. Yeah, so we had discussed about what is Agile, and then why we have to be Agile, and then is it okay if we follow the process and if we don't change our mindset, and then why people are so crazy about Agile. So why even the software companies, hardware companies, irrespective of what they are, in one way or the other, they wanted to get into the Agile mindset. Why is it? Is it just another process which is coming into the into the industry, which is coming as a boom? So let's see that quickly for 5 minutes. So Agile is about the mindset. So how quickly you can change, how quickly you can adopt, and how easily you can, think from the customer perspective by leaving the rigid thinking in us, and then, having the stable thing. Okay, something is given to us, we'll just deliver only that, and have the complete ownership, guys. Whenever we are doing something, so don't pass the ball just in another, person's court, because when it is our baby, so do we do that, once, or, have our parents left us when we get married, or, when we are independent? Still they support us throughout. That is the ownership, which we need to have. So whenever we own something, we won't leave it. So when it is having a problem, so we always make sure that, we clear the impediments, we clear that, okay, fine, our product, it is facing some problem. Let me help some way or the other so that, it will be smoother. So that is the mindset. Okay. So here, in the Agile Manifesto, you are seeing all these 17 people here down. So they are the founders of one or the other Agile models. So what are they? If you see that XP, Scrum, Kanban, Crystal, so there are multiple things which are there, and then all these come under your Agile umbrella. Okay, so these people have come up with 4 values. So value is nothing but which lies within us. It is my individual, they say that it comes in our DNA. So they use it very frequently, right? So this should be there in your blood. So when you believe it completely, that comes to us automatically. Okay, so individuals and interactions over the process and tools. Nowhere it will be mentioned that don't follow the process and tools. Processes and tools are important, but don't stop with that. We have more valuable thing than that. So have the regular interactions with the individuals, with our team members, with our customers. And then if you have any dependency with other teams, yes. Instead of just sending the mail in a mechanical manner, why can't we have the interactions? Just go to that person. So with that, it's not only the work which will be done, it is a bondage which will be done, which is a relationship which will be done. Because if you want the empowered teams, so you need to have a strong relationship among each other, where they say that a trust will be built. Because without trust in any relationship, we cannot sustain. And that relationship will not last longer. Working product over comprehensive documentation is like, when you have 100 pages of document, and if you don't have the working model to see that how it works, it's of no use. So that is why the documentation is important, but working software is much important than that. So does the customer need to wait for the entire project to get over to see his product? So that is where the difference comes. So we should not make him wait, or we should not make the capital or the investment debt till the end of the project. So let the value come of it in each of the phases, so that the customer will be happy. He will see the value. He will see that whether he has to continue the project or he has to drop the project, and then he can think about pivoting to something else. So these are all the changes which he will be able to make only when we if we allow him to make that. Okay. So the customer collaboration over the contract negotiation. So don't go only with the contracts, with the terms and conditions, with the agreements, and then say that, okay, this is what we have agreed. And then, I don't care, now don't come up with the changes. Like, it is very hard for us to think about any change. So please don't do that, because, we should understand what is the value, like, which we will bring if we are going with the change. So because whenever we are building something, we don't want to lie it in one shelf. We want that, people to use it, right? So if we want our software or any of our product to use it, so we want it to be workable, we want it to be usable, we want it to be, get in the pace of the business. So whatever the market demands, if you feel that, okay, fine, today my requirement is this, tomorrow it is getting changed, let's get in that pace. Responding to change over following a plan. This is much important, as we have discussed. So responding, how quickly you can adopt, how quickly you can change, and how easily or how simple you have built your software so that you can change to it. So that's why your code should not be too complicated. Okay. So do you guys believe in this? Do you guys understand this? Okay. So we had stopped at Agile principles. So in the Agile principles, we have discussed about the continuous delivery. So where they don't need to wait till the end of the project, but continuously you are delivering it in the constant basis. So that they can see the software, they can give the feedbacks, and then, continuously you can, quickly adopt to the changes, and, see that if there is a value. If you don't have the value, then, clearly mention that, okay, there is not much value like which is there in that. One second. So are you guys able to see my screen? Yeah. Thank you. So is it clear? Audible? Please raise your hand, like, when you have any issues with respect to the voice. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay. So welcome change requirements even late in the development. So when you say that, because we know that business keeps changing every day, every moment. So how is that you are going to cope up with the change? So it's not necessary that you have to incorporate each and every change, but the change whichever is going to bring a lot of value to the customer, then yes, why can't we change? So that is where they say that welcome change requirements even late in the development. And then deliver working software. So delivering working software is much important rather than having so many pages, because they won't be able to relate. They cannot see the software. And then collaboration of business people and developers. So earlier, if you see that in the waterfall model, okay, so let me quickly show you guys. So the Agile principles, whatever we are seeing here, let's see with the small example. Okay. So here in the waterfall model, we have seen these things, right? We see that marketing team, we see architect team, and then we have the development team, and then we have the testing team and the maintenance team. What each group of people is going to deliver to the next team. If you see the marketing team, they are the ones who is going to give us the requirements, who will get the requirements from the customers, from the market. And then from the marketing team, so it goes to the, the designing team actually. So the designing team, what they'll do is they'll come up with the detailed designs. They'll come up with the high level diagrams, and then they'll discuss and have the low level designs. They will pass on to the development team. Okay. Now the development team will take that. So here already there is one gap. And then here, when they are passing the requirements or when they're passing the design from the architect's team to the development team, even there is some amount of, the communication gap which will always be there. Okay. So, so we hear like Chinese whisper, right? So whenever the information passes from one guy to other, there'll be certain loss in the communication which will be there. So the same thing, once the development is done, you will get the bill to verify. So that is where it comes to the testing team. Okay. So once the testing is done, now it is released. The product is released, and now the maintenance will go to the maintenance team or the sustenance team, they say. Fine. So here we have discussed about the advantages and disadvantages also. If you don't have any changes with respect to the requirements, or if it is a pure hardware, so then it's okay to go with the waterfall model. But even in the waterfall, even in the the hardware teams, or even if in the manufacturing teams, people are shifting to agile. It is just not because of the fancy words. It is because they wanted to empower the teams. They wanted to have the motivated individuals in the team so that they can take the decision. They don't need to wait for the manager to take the decision. So, in order to deliver the quality product, each and every team member is empowered to take the decision whenever something is not right in the system. And then immediately they'll retrospect. They'll see that, what went wrong. They'll stop the process then and there. And they'll retrospect. And then they will fix the problem, and then only again the work starts. So you see the difference here, right? They don't need to wait for the levels, or they don't need to wait the individual team members of the marketing team or that, and then it comes to the team. So that level it is gone. If you see here, then you can understand so what Agile is all about. We are having the cross-functional team here. We have the developers. You're seeing the small guys here. So these are the developers. And here is our QA, here is our Scrum Master, here's our architect. So these are the people which closely bond. They are co-located at one place, and here they are working for the common goal. And here there is no blame game. I have developed something, so it is working in my machine. So we hear so many times, right? So it is working in my machine, so it's not my problem. So I have developed according to my requirements. It is not working in your system, so I'm sorry, I cannot do anything about it. So, but in Agile, that is not the way. So we are working for the common goal. Our common goal is this has to work like this. Why it is not working? Let's sit together and brainstorm. Let's see where the problem is lying. Here the individual pointing is not there. Here we'll discuss only about the situations, why this has happened, how we can improve. So these things will come into the picture. So if I have different modules, then we can see that I have login screen, I have the list of products, and I have the payment, and if I have the other features also, each and everything will have here. So if I see login, it will have the requirements, the analysis will be done, design will be done, coding will be done, testing will be done. So entire life cycle will be done for one particular feature. So we are not leaving the waterfall model. We are working very closely with the feature level, not the project level. Okay. So here you see that the face-to-face conversations, the working software is the primary measure of the progress. This is the goal for the team. It is not only for the individual. So the goals for the team should be changed. There should be some common goals if you are working in a team. So the working software, the quality product, and then the definition of done. So all these things should be there as common goals. Even the way we appraise our team should be different over there. Technical excellence. So each and every time, whenever you are doing something, what is that? What is the new thing which I am bringing, which is making a difference to the people? And then it is sustenance development. It is not like today I have done, which is more work, tomorrow it is less. No, it is like, it is sustainable. It should be, it should, it should be throughout. So my pace in which I'm working, there can be little variations. I should not have like too many variations over there. So I should have self-organizing teams. So someone should not tell me, how to be or like that, because all these things will be covered in my basic ground rules. Like when I'm there together, how I should behave with my team, what are the things we should take care, so that as a team we'll come up with the ground rules. So we'll look into that, what the ground rules are. And regular checks by the team on their performance. We'll have the retrospectives, we'll have the daily scrums, and then we have different ceremonies. So where we get along each other. Ceremony is like usually we have the functions, right? So in Agile, so we enjoy everything. So that is why it is called as ceremonies. Okay. So I hope this is clear for you guys. So this is what we had discussed earlier. So and then like principles we had covered a little. Okay, so quickly getting into this. So what you guys are seeing here. Okay, before that, a quick. So I'll just give you 1 minute. Poll is open. So please answer this question, guys, to understand you. I have received 71% votes so far. So please take it so that, I'll be able to, get into your level, guys. As I said, I wanted to make it interactive so that I don't want to assume something and then proceed with. So is the volume okay now? Thank you. Okay, guys. So I'm stopping here. So I'm closing the poll. I would like to share this with you guys. So there are 38% of freshers we have, and 62% of QA, and 5% of Scrum Masters, and 5% of managers. So we'll see, like, what are the challenges you guys will be having in the upcoming sessions, and how we are going to deal with that. And then, yes, initially for the managers or for the Scrum Masters or for the team, because again, this is a change for us, to settle down, it will take some time to understand the process, to understand the people, because it is like a lot of freedom which will be given to the teams now. So how is that we should not take advantage of that? And then, how we should be more productive. So these things, like, we will discuss it very for sure. So for now, okay. So here you are seeing a few things on the screen. So what comes to your mind like when you see that? Ashna, 1 minute, guys. Ashna, are you there on the call? Uh, yeah, Ashna, still they are seeing the poll. They're not able to see my screen. Yeah. So now are you guys able to see my screen instead of poll? Okay. Yeah, Ashna, I got it. Thank you.
I got
Okay. So thank you, guys. Okay. So I have sent one poll to you guys. So please quickly answer by looking at this. So what comes to your mind? Okay. So I have received 40%, 48% of voting here. So let's quickly see, like, what it is all about. So this is the results which you guys have shared. So focused on the customer problems and needs, iterative releases, customer centricity. So what happens if it rains for the patient who is there in the ambulance, right? Yes. But if you see, guys, like, these are the people who believe in, so customer delight. So that we have discussed in our orientation session. So the customer delight is, customer will be okay, he'll be okay like if you release something or if you give something what it is expected. But if you give something which is not expected by the customer, then the delight comes. So we say that, some surprise gift, right? So we'll be so happy when we receive some surprise gift. So, and then from the unexpected people especially. So this is how, like, the customer will be so happy to see something which is not expected. So you're seeing here, all these things are coming up with the basic ground of problems. Okay. So they are the people who go to the, market. They'll try to find out what exactly the problem is. So here, if you see that this ambulance, this is from a village where they don't have the proper ambulance service in that village. This person is helping. He has created his own model. He has not think that, oh, I have got a bike. I tried to call up this service. They are not coming up. He's not cribbing about the problems in the society. Why can't I bring the change? Why can't I help to get something? Why can't I think different? So he has attached one. Yes, it will rain, it will be a problem. But again, this is what the budget he has. He's trying to solve the customer problem some way or the other. The patient has to reach the hospital. Because if you see in villages or in the places where they don't have the proper, medical facilities, so many people die without the service. So these are the people who come up with this idea because they believe that there is a lot of value, and then he has got his own human values. For me, I have to do something for my people. So that is where the change is. If you see, like, WhatsApp, there are so many new changes which are coming up. So which they don't even make it as a big, release or 6 months bang release and all this stuff. So the share which has come, which is new. So what do you say? Share your rights or share your details, like when you are there in the cab, right? So why all these things have come? So few people cannot afford that much, so they have thought about it. And then if you see the fixed rates, so earlier if you have to get into the auto rickshaw, it was very tough because they never used to put the meters. Now that is gone. Now it is a fixed rate or in a per kilometer basis this much. So now this process is streamlined over there. They believe that the people are facing with these problems. So why can't we resolve that? There were a lot of safety concerns. People have to type it and then send it. Now the share feature has come. So where people can send, okay, I'm in this cab now. So you can track my route, whether I'm coming in the right direction or not. So all these are, customer centric. So if you see the guy here with a car, he is from Tesla. Why he see like over there? Why people believe that, Tesla is top model now? Is it just because of, just is one more new car which is coming into the market with different things? No, because the basic thing is they concentrate.
Shailaja,
Yes,
see
Ashna.
the screen. I'm sorry. We cannot see a screen again. We see the pole. We only see the pole again.
Okay, sorry. I'll close the poll. Okay. So if you see Tesla, so what is that, for the environment they are bringing in? Because these are electric cars and there is zero emission. And then the kind of software updates they provide, it is of zero charges. So there are a lot of advantages for that. So if you see the customer delight, if you want to see what exactly the customer delight is, then you should see this. So this is by the person who has owned the car. It is not the company owner. So he mentions that I am the first person who has taken this car, and it makes me so proud, because it is like completely unbelievable the kind of service they provide. And then it is like I sleep, I get the updates. So it is so fast and quick in changes. So that is why it has become so popular. It is again one more, if you see the manufacturing unit, but still they are into agile. Now let's get into our practices. So what are the different practices, which we can think of? So practices are the ones which we use. We have discussed about agile values, we have discussed about agile principles. Now we are seeing that, how we are going to implement that. What are the different things which we can think of in the agile projects? Okay. So for the new guys, for the freshers, so what are the practices which we use, right? If you see in the waterfall model, so we write the design specifications, and we write, the code, and then, we write the test design specifications, test cases, in order to ensure that whatever we are developing, that has, good quality with not too many bugs. Okay. So ultimately, whoever wants to buy this, so they have to be satisfied with our product. That is the basic thing. Let's see that in order to achieve that, what is that we are going to do? How is that, we are going to make sure that our product is having the good quality, right? It should be the acceptable quality for the customers. So with the trust-driven development, code refactoring, simple design, reusable code, paid programming, these are the different, practices which we can do. That is, let us think that if I am a developer, earlier the mindset was I am the developer, I'll develop it, and then testing it is the testing team, they should make sure the quality is good. So that is not the responsibility of the developers. This was the mindset earlier. Now the quality is each one's responsibility, whoever is there in the team. They cannot pass the ball on others' code, because if you believe as a team spirit, if you believe that you are working as a team for a common goal, then in each and every phase, you should make sure that whatever you are delivering, that is the quality one, not the buggy code, or not the unclear documents, or not like, which is the complex design. So if you see that these are from the different people, right? So each one should ensure that my bit of work, whatever I'm doing, I should do my best. How is that I can improve in my work? So no one needs to tell you guys, honestly to speak. You are the ones who should bring the change. Because if we don't change, already the robots are there in the market. They will change you at one point of time. Then we'll be jobless. So in order to make ourselves very competitive in the market, let's get to the change. You should be like, responsible enough, or you should be taking the ownership by making sure that whatever your bit of work is there, that is very clear, that is very pure. Okay. So this is the, like, the developers write the unit test cases from the beginning, and then ensure that, it is maintained throughout, the quality is there. And then they do the code reviews. And then, they'll have even the development scenarios which will be mentioned in their, wherever the tracking tool. They'll mention that, okay, these are the scenarios which are there, and these are the regression scenarios. We have touched upon these code or these modules, so please ensure that, you do your testing. So what happens is, you see that, right? So we have done a piece of code which we have ensured by writing the test cases. So that is one responsibility which they are exhibiting over there. And then we have touched this code. So make sure that you cover these aspects. Don't miss out these guys. These are important. So that is where they shows their ownership. When it goes to others, it will not be missed out in their testing. Okay, so that is why in each and every phase it is important. So code refactoring. So whenever one code is there, so how I can make it more simpler, or what is the unused code which is lying in it, or am I using the code quality checks, like what is my code coverage percentage. So all these things needs to be checked, and the design should not be like too complex. So earlier for the entire project the design was created in the waterfall model. But now here in Agile, the design will evolve over a period of the phases, the sprints. So for these features, so if I'm thinking that, so how my design should look, and then how I need to make changes. So all it will evolve along with your project. So the code should be reusable. So in the software we call it as bricks. So these bricks, whatever we do, these should be reusable so that your time to market will be less. So the people, whoever is working in the development, so if the same piece of work or the similar work with a little bit of customization if the other team can use, so why can't we build up that? So many free source tools are coming up in the market now, right? So why are they coming up? So we do a lot of customization over there and then we use that. And if you have to build everything from the scratch, think about it. So in building itself such code, it will take years. And then to deliver your project, it will take again few more days. So that is why your reusable code is much important. How much of your code is reusable? What is the percentage? You measure yourself. And paid programming. Paid programming is, what is a pair? When two people work together. It could be a relationship, it could be friendship, it could be in the work environment, it could be with the neighbors. When people work together, that we call as, pair work. And then we say the group study, or like we say that group work, right? Here like we use in the in agile terminology, we say that pair programming, pair testing, where in order to make sure that the dependency is reduced among the team members. In case if I'm not able to come to office for 5 days, my work should not stop because of me. Someone else should be able to take up from that. So it will reduce the dependency over there. And then continuous integration. So don't wait till 1 week to deploy your code, commit your code, build up your code. So build the builds. So very frequently they'll be tested, they'll go. So it will be very fast. So the QA will not suffer at the end. Continuously they'll be testing. So they'll write their test cases, they'll write the test scenarios. By the time they'll have your code, and then once it is done, again your new code will come with the new features. So that's why like each and every person in the team will be occupied. So you should have the coding standards. So if you have the coding standards, so any new person whoever comes to the team, they will understand that what is this field means for me, or what does this function does. So you'll have your coding standards, the naming conventions, and then the comments over there to mention that, and then why this piece of code is used for, where it is used. So all these things it will be mentioned. So that's why the coding standards are much important in order to understand your code, because they cannot see they cannot see the UI there. So any new person, or the person like whoever has to paid program with you or do something, so they need to understand your code, whatever you are writing first. And then instead of delivering everything at the end, so as we have discussed, so we will be delivering in the constant paces over there, and it should be time boxed. I cannot say that I'm in agile, I'll do whenever I want because it is so flexible. No guys. So agile believes in the time box, because when you are not delivering at the right time, so then it is of not much use at the later stage. It will be off like book in the shelf and then closed. So daily meetings. So every day the team will meet up and then discuss what they have done, what they will be doing. and if they have any roadblocks. So such kind of stuff they'll be having it. And then we'll have the metrics like the burn down charts, the sprint velocity. We'll discuss all these things in detail, like, when it comes to the individual frameworks. But this is at the high level. And then the task boards. So who is working on what and in which state it is in. So these are the clear indications for you. So definition of done. So whatever piece I have taken as a team. So whether have we completed it? Completed, it's not only the development, the quality checks, the code reviews. And then, the customer should see that and he should say okay to that. And it is bug free. So then, like, there are again, as a team, we prepare the definition of done. It is not someone else who gives us the definition of done. And then the backlog. Backlog is nothing but the list of things, like, which needs to be completed for that particular product or the project. And then backlog grooming. So here, like, we'll mention the requirements clear, so we'll prioritize the things. So all these things we'll do in the backlog grooming. So far, if you have any questions, so please, you can post it. So okay, so I'll take this later. Yes, we'll discuss about the backlog, like, what is a backlog, how to create it. So this we will discuss it, like, when we go to the individual frameworks. This is again the big topic which will be covered with lot of details and then the examples. Yes, all the activities will be taken in one Agile project. Okay. So guys, yeah, you keep posting the questions, so I'll take it up at the end. So again here, we have the different practices from the different frameworks. What are the Scrum practices? What are the extreme programming practices? The product management, DevOps, designing, testing, teams. So these are the different practices which will be used by the different people. So that again, like, we will discuss in detail, but as such, like, what are the practices that I wanted to give you some understanding over there. Okay, so now let's get into the important picture of it. So which is user personas. So what are the user personas? So what comes to us, like, when we think about the user? Okay, so whenever user comes, he is the person who is going to use your product or the service or the project, right? So why is that? What is the persona about? So do you guys prepare your CVs, your resumes whenever we go to the interviews? So in that, what will we mention? We will mention about, so we will mention about our, yeah, we'll discuss in detail about the Scrum practices also. We'll discuss about all the practices with respect to the Scrum, Kanban, user teams and roles. So in detail, we'll discuss about it. Yeah. So we will be discussing about the user profiles, user personas also. Okay. So let us think that in order to build something, as we have seen the people with the ambulance and then, the Tesla car, the WhatsApp groups. So all these things, the Ola cabs, right? So these are the people who understand the customer, right? In order to understand someone, we should have some details about it. Okay. So what are those details? Usually if you send your resume, what it will have? It will have your educational qualifications, it will have your skills, it will have your strengths and weakness, it will have your address, it will have your overall experience as such. This is your resume or the CV. Let us think that when you are sending the profile to the marriage bureaus or when you are sending your profile for your matches, what is that it contains? It contains your height, it contains your picture, it contains your hobbies and interests, and it contains your about your what do you say, the kundlis, or otherwise your sun signs, the moon signs. So whether all these things will match or not with the other, with what do you say, with the go to be the partner, right? So this is called the profile. Now let us think in our terms, with respect to the agile terms and with respect to the user terms. So what is the user profile? User profile, who is this user? We'll be having, if you go to the malls or if few people call up, from the customer service and, yeah, ma'am, can I have 2 minutes, take 2 minutes of time? So they'll say that, can we have the details? So we have a campaign going on. So we wanted to understand your needs. So because usually we won't give the time to them, right? When someone calls us, we tell that, we are busy, we are there in a meeting, we'll call up later. And then sometimes, they should make us understand what's in it for them. So we are doing this campaign in order to bring some valuable stuff in the software or with the product. So we understand that there are a lot of problems with the product. We wanted to, change this. So for that, like we need your precious time for 2 minutes. So all these things are nothing but, so when you have the user interviews over the phones or the surveys or the questionnaires, so where you will get the user details. So what is this person? What is this person's age? So what is the, if you are into, what is that you are making? Is it a pen? Is it a car? Is it a WhatsApp group or is it a software company? So based upon that, you will choose your customer base. Even if I'm there in the software company, it doesn't mean that, I have to choose all my customers. It depends upon to which targeted users you are concentrating on. Your features will serve whose purpose. Only those profiles you will concentrate that moment. Okay. So then you will get their requirements. You will understand them, how often they use the application, or what is that they'll be expecting it, and will your feature is going to help them or not. So these are the details, like, which you will be capturing. Okay, that is the user profile. And then if I see the persona, what is that? So user persona is one imaginary thing which I'm giving. Okay, so for that a group of people will be there who will be behaving or who will be having the similar attributes. Let us think that if I'm concentrating on the age group, there are few of the people who is having the similar age. Or if I want to concentrate on the work, there are similar people who will do certain, work in a similar fashion, right? So these ones I'm going to group it as one persona. So let us see that, what this is all about. So this is an imaginary character. It is not like the persona is not the real one. But whereas the user profile, if you see in that user, he is the real user over there. But persona contains a group of people over there. So that is why that is one imaginary picture which is going to represent a group of people. Okay. So, and it will represent the different users. User personas are the segment of the key audience for the reference. So they are the people, like, whom you are targeting. So that is why you need to understand them better. And then express the focus on the key needs and expectations. So you should find out what are their needs. So if you see that all these people, whoever we have seen that in that picture, so with WhatsApp groups, ambulance and all, they understood the needs, they understood the problems, and they understood that, how it will delight the people over there. So that is why you should have the clear focus on the customer needs over there. Okay. And then they describe the real people with the backgrounds, goals and values. Let's see in the next slide. So what are the benefits of, okay, before that, I just wanted to I was just creating one profile to show you guys. Uh, so this is the user persona. Okay. So why I'm saying user persona? Why not profile? Because it is not one person. I'm targeting the multiple people here. That is why I'm calling it as persona. Okay. So what is that here? What am I bringing up as a project or the product? Because I wanted to give the cab service. Okay. If I want to give the cab service, who is my target people over here? Is it like, 5 years boy or 2 years boy? Who is my target audience here? Whom do I want to interview and get the information? So my target audience are my college going students, and then the housewives and the old people who is going to regularly use the cab. So how frequently they are using it? So they are using it, few people are using it daily, and few people, if they have to go to the hospital, they are using it. And what is the objective of my project over here? I wanted to create a security and the safety aspect in my cab service. Okay, so in order to target these people, because nowadays there is crime rate is more, and then if you see that, even the elderly people, no one will be there to take care of them. So few people will be left out like that, their kids will not be taking care. So ultimately they have to take care of themselves. So as a cab service, how can I help them? I'll do my bit of code, or I'll do my bit of work from my side in order to bring that service to them. Okay, so that is my objective over there. How is that I'm going to do? What are their expectations? So this girl wanted always I should have the Wi-Fi, I should have the safety concerns, which will be taken care. And then my details should be shared to the people if I'm there in the cab, because I don't know how to handle myself well. So, and then I should have the safe recording so that the other person will not know that I'm recording the stuff. And then if I'm going to the older people, so I should have my seating arrangement properly so that, for getting into the car, it is very difficult for me. So it should be flexible enough. The car seat should turn, and then, slowly it should put me inside. I should have the oxygen facility or the, minimum things, whatever basic, first aid, whatever it is needed, or all these things, which is important for me to have it. And then these are the things, like, when we speak to the people, you will understand. So how is that it is going to delight them? Okay, these are the services which they are expecting, but some things are there, which will excite them. Okay, whenever let us think that this is just out of box, which I have thought about it. So whenever any person is there in the cab, if they are going to meet, it is not like after they met with the danger. So now we have lots of sensors which are coming up. If your sensor is going to help them, if some danger is going to be foreseen, so immediately some alarm or something, or something should indicate that the things are not going well, and then the respective or the responsible people should be alerted immediately so that that will be prevented. It is not like that the press will come after the incident happens. So let us see. This is about persona. Is it clear for you guys or any doubts? So Sharda, I'll show you the practices. That's what I have mentioned. I'll show you the Scrum practices and all in detail. Okay, guys. Now let us see, like, how we can. Yes, this will definitely help in creating the test cases, because your UI will be changed accordingly. So UI, it's not the user interface or the usability. So everything will change. The way you approach at a particular problem will be completely different. So when you have the user profile with you, or when you have the user personas with you, so sometimes you will go with some of the features. So when you have the user personas with you, then sometimes you will change your thinking also. You will make a lot of changes. So this, we have seen it personally in our projects as well. So whenever you go with the personas, whenever you go with your assumptions to the users, and then if you validate it, a lot of times, we have changed we have changed that, and then, we have worked accordingly. This will really help a lot, guys. If you guys are not using it, if you are already experienced it, so please start using it. It makes a lot of difference in the work, in the way you work, the customer collaboration, the customer satisfaction, and then the value of your product which you are delivering to the people will be a lot. Okay, so how is that I'm going to capture the practices? Okay, so the best practices of developing the personas. So we have discussed about it, right? So we'll do the user interviews, we'll do the questionnaires, and we will be grouping all the profiles, and then, we'll be doing the brainstorming. These are the different things, which we can think of. So we can do the phone calls, we can have the polls, we can send the open service to the people. And then you mentioned that, what is that you are bringing? Why is that they have to waste time in filling this? So that the background information they should have it. Okay. So what are the elements of the personas? So what we have seen earlier, we have seen the pictures, we have given the imaginary name. So the job titles, if you see that we have given the imaginary name for that, right? So what is that imaginary name here? Moto 50. So the motor, which is for the people, which is more than 15 years of age. That is why I have given as Moto 15 for this. So this is an imaginary name. This is not like one person's name over there, right? It represents a group of people over there, like which use that very regularly and which have the common attributes. And then the experience in the job, skills or the knowledge. So if you are serving it for the software company or something, you need to know that, how experienced they are. Based upon that, your way of, designing the things will be different. So their education, age, family. So these things are also important. So their physical, social, and then technological environment, their pictures, time they spend on the similar tools. So which are the competitor tools they like? Why do they like that? And then that is getting into the red ocean strategy in order to cope up with the market. And then like blue ocean strategy, one is there where you don't need to worry too much about the market, worry too much about how is that you are going to, sorry guys, how is that you are going to bring the differentiator over there, and then what they are looking for, what are the goals and targets, what are the users needs. These are the elements of the personas. Okay, so with that, are you guys clear with the persona? Okay, I'll do that. Anyways, we'll be recording and we'll share the link with you guys. Okay, so with this we have discussed about how Agile is going to bring the changes and what are the personas, how to create it. So do you guys have any questions? So in the next session, like we will start about the Scrum framework, and then what are the roles and responsibilities, and then what are the practices in the Scrum. So few people have asked about when we were discussing about the Scrum, what are the practices in the Scrum. So these things we will discuss in detail in the next session. So now I'll open it to you guys for the question and answers. Yes, we'll be sharing the demo session with all of you guys. So is it clear, like, or do you have any doubts in today's session? Yeah. So we will discuss about, so it is the group of people from the customer side. You are right. That is why it is like user personas. So what is the difference between the Scrum and the Sprint? So Scrum is a framework. Sprint is part of that. How we are going to run the Scrum with the regular iterations? Sprint is an iteration which will be of 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks depending upon what the team decides. So how many sessions are there? So there are 8 more sessions which are there. Thank you, Sharda. So difference between the Scrum and Agile. As we have discussed earlier also, so Agile is the, if you consider Agile as one big umbrella, so Scrum is one of the methodology in that. So like that, there are so many methodologies which fall under the Agile. Yes, we do have another demo session tomorrow, Sharda. So guys, like whoever are the freshers, so do you guys understand why this Agile is, and then are you able to relate it? No, we are not going to discuss the story points tomorrow. That will be in the other sessions. We will be discussing about the frameworks. The main difference between the Agile and Waterfall. Okay, I'll show you quickly what is the difference between the Agile and Waterfall. So I have shown here to show the difference to you guys. So if you see, here are the people, the marketing team, the architects, the development, the testing, the maintenance. These are like different teams as such. Okay, these are the individual teams whose manager will be different, whose team's principles are different. The way they work together will be different. Okay, and then the project delivery will happen at the end. So each team will work in silos in themselves, and then they will pass on the information to the other guys. And then the information will be lost when it keeps passing on. When it reaches the last guy, so much of information will be lost over there. Okay, so the customer cannot see the product till the end of the project. But if you see, this is the agile team. Okay, so where the group of individuals, that is nothing but your developers, your QA, your scrum masters, your architects. So whoever is necessary, the roles whichever is necessary for the product to work, as a team they will work in one particular project. So that is a scrum team we call. That is the difference. It makes a lot of difference. And then when it comes to the deliverables, if you see in the waterfall, so till here, till the end, if you see this is my project duration, I'm drawing one line, right? So till the end of the project, they'll not be able to see there, this is my delivery. Here they will see the project, okay? But whereas if you see here, in each phases, let us think that in my first phase, I'm doing my login. The user will be able to see that. And then if I'm giving a list of products, they'll be able to see that. They don't need to wait till the end of the project. So that is where the difference comes. The user will be able, because we are giving the demos to them, we'll get the feedback and then we'll deliver it. So this is the continuous things. We are keeping the customer continuously in loop. Customer will not be lost. He will not have the assumptions. He can lively see the product over there. Do you guys understand now? No, it will not be too much to prepare the scenarios. Okay, there won't be much to prepare the scenarios in the test cases. In Agile, how do you write the test cases? It is the same thing with respect to the features. You are not writing the test cases for the entire project. So again, your test cases should be very simple and clear, so that you should be able to modify it also very easily. You remember, it is the change or the adapting it. It should be very easy in whatever the documents you guys are preparing. So Sai, is it clear for you the difference between the Agile and Waterfall? Yeah, if you see that the requirements, usually the product owner gives it to the team. We call as a product owner who will provide the requirements to the Scrum team. Yes, we do use the tools. We use Jira or we use Mingle. So where these follow the complete life cycle of your projects, where you can maintain your requirements, where you can have your defect tracking, where you can have your metrics. So everything like you can see there. So the requirements are like the requirements also like it will be in detail, but like at least there should be some minimal acceptance of the requirements. If you are expecting there is a continuous change, don't expect 30 pages document to be updated over there. So again, it should be clear and crisp so that the maintenance will not be too much over there. So guys, do you have any questions? And if you don't have it, so what we will do is, so test cases in Agile, it is not a different thing how you write the test cases. But always we should make sure that whenever a change is there, you should be able to make it as simple and then easy to change it. Yeah, different methodologies we'll discuss about it in detail. Yes, the complete life cycle of SDLC will be followed in Agile. So we have seen it here, right? So complete life cycle will be there. So here like you see the requirements, analysis, design, code, test. For each feature we are following it, guys. It is not like till the end of the project, they have to, it will go in the phases. Each phase will be there for each of the features. Okay. So thank you so much for joining this. And then like we'll meet again in the next session tomorrow. Thank you guys. Till that time, have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay, I could see one question there. So documentation, I have not mentioned that, or Agile will not mention there is no documentation. Agile mentions that there is a necessary documentation which is needed. So that much we need to maintain that, because at least you should understand what that feature is all about. So Sai, that much documentation we need to maintain. Yes, we will share the practices of Scrum. So once we discuss about the framework, and then we will go step by step. So practices, we'll start with the framework and then we'll go to the practices. So if you have the maintenance projects, so it's not necessary for each of the features. I mean, you will not have the features in each of the iterations. So sometimes you will have only bugs, so that you need to take care. Or if it is a project as such, then definitely like yes. Or initially for few days it could be just only the framework development. So technical design or the functional designs will be part of your sprints. That will go along with your sprint work. That also will evolve. It is not for the complete project. Okay guys, now it's time up. Like we'll take up the questions in the next session. So thank you so much and have a good day.